Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to The Boys. This time we're on Season 1, Episode 7, titled The Self-Preservation Society. That's quite the name. But yeah, last time we had Episode 6, which was The Innocents, and we saw a group of innocent people, part of a support group known as the ACDS, I believe, the Association for Collateral Damage Survivors, the survivors of collateral damage left behind by the soups. One dude who worked for Vought, who had his dick frozen off during sex by Ice Princess, and another girl who was saved by Tech Knight at the expense of losing her legs because her spine snapped in half. So just different people who lost something in their lives, whether it was people or their own body parts in some way or bodily function, because of the actions of soups that went unchecked and also unconvicted. So we had that, and Billy didn't really share his story in the group, but he did tell Huey that Homelander raped his wife, Becca, and soon after that she was at the bench when he told her, and then she left after that. So the kind of verdict is that either Homelander killed her or that she killed herself. So yeah, I mean, I think when you look back at it, I think it's his anger towards Rachel for putting up the headstone is kind of more like, he's not really ready to accept her death himself. But yeah, I think it like looking back at it now, it definitely kind of screams that he doesn't want to have to accept that she's dead. He still wants to be able to find her, but I think part of him also kind of senses that either way she's dead, but either she killed herself from the trauma or Homelander killed her to make sure no one would ever find out. But I think either way, I think even if she didn't kill herself, but then he didn't kill her either, but she still ended up dead, then it makes sense to me that Vought would go out their way to kind of clean up the scene to avoid any dirt falling back on Homelander, even though, it's Homelander. He could literally take out any court of law, any kind of law enforcement that came after him. And it's Vought, they could afford the best lawyers in the country. So, I don't know, but we found out all of that stuff. And speaking of crimes, Deep issued the most BS apology for sexually assaulting Starlight in the Seven Tower. He issued that after Madeline told him he had to. Madeline, thingies. Annie mentioned it to her that it wouldn't really be a good look if they fired her right after she came out with a story of sexual assault. So then out of fear of that, she told Deep to rehearse and film a apology thing that they then broadcasted on the news, and as expected, no one really believed him. He was still attacked. Someone still threw something in his car at the gas station. So that was that. But yeah, we had all of that stuff going on, and then we had a lovely kind of a very, very large cameo role from Haley Joel Osment. Playing Mesmer. He was playing Mesmer. He was playing a suit formerly employed by Vought in like the old TV days with A-Train, and then he did like his own little solo series playing the Mesmerizer. But his power was that he could read anyone's mind through physical contact. So he played an awesome role. He uncovered a lot of history for the female, now lovely known as Kamiko. She was a child soldier. Her and her brother were child soldiers, kidnapped by a terrorist organization, and then she was, then after that, she was smuggled over to America and pumped up with Compound V, so that then releasing her into an area to cause havoc would then give Vought a reason to actually, have Soups sent into the military. So it's all a part of their devious, corrupt little schemes to get them more money and to have Soups in as many places as possible. They already have them all throughout pop culture and all throughout every other place possible. So now the military is their next kind of frontier into colonization. So yeah, that's all that stuff. But yeah, and then at the end, Billy Billy caught Huey snogging Starlight, and then issued him a nice little passive aggressive warning, being like, "Oh, what do you think she's gonna do when she finds out you murdered Translucent?" So yeah, I don't know how he's gonna relay that information, but yeah, I don't know. Things are going things are going downhill now, especially since Mesmer snitched over to Homelander. He snitched to Homelander about having met up with the boys, with the crew as a whole, and he recognizes Huey, I believe, because he met him just one episode before. So he recognized him. Billy, I don't know if he recognizes him from when Becca was still around, but there was also the stare down they had. At the race, at A-Train's race. You know, the one guy staring back in when everyone else was enjoying the race and everything. So that definitely stuck out to him. But now that face will be clear as ever. That facial shot clear as ever. So yeah, plenty of stuff going down, and we are coming up to the end of the season, so hopefully soon after this I can, swan dive straight into season 2, and enjoy that with you guys too. So yeah, that is pretty much all I've got. So this will be episode 7, the Self-Preservation Society. If you guys want to watch the full-length reaction, the full-length watch-along to this episode with me, then that will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. But yeah, that is it. So episode 7, let's go. 8 years ago. Becca disappeared 8 years ago. Translucent dressed as Santa. Is that really the best choice? Translucent as Santa? Really? Oh,
yes,
crap.
that too.
Is this how he got to her?
Great to
Is
meet you.
this how Homelander got to
Becca,
her?
you handled my takeover, right?
This is Huey and Starlight. They're X amount of dates in, and they're already... Yeah. Oh, is she gonna ice princess him? No ice princessing. She's not gonna just burn his dick off in the middle of it. No, nothing like that. Okay.
Yeah, sure, my dad could make you some post-coital pizza rolls. I just figured this would be slightly less humiliating.
Yeah, all right.
Don't know why the image of his dad walking in right as they finish
Yeah,
with
very
some
convincing.
pizza rolls is hysterical.
Okay, what's going on?
It's just...
But if something comes up, we'll call.
You'll call.
Absolutely.
Someone just calls him opening to ask a canned tuna. just to mess with him.
Downright sloppy. Not you, Noir. You've been great. But the rest of you, keep those hands down by your sides, Missy.
Oh, crap. He is not messing around now.
Sit down.
Oh, he's not. Homelander ain't messing around no more.
You bitch.
I didn't
Oh,
do
shut up, you
anything.
murderer.
Enough!
Okay, A-Train has no right to be pissed. A-Train has little to no right to be pissed.
That bitch is fucking playing you, and you're too fucking blind to see it.
Right, so better to be loyal to a dead woman who doesn't know and doesn't care. How's that working out for you?
Oh, crap, Huey. Oh, that is a card you should not have pulled out. That is a card. That is a button you shouldn't have pressed.
Hey, Trini, listen to me.
Oh shit, if he's burned, then I'm fucked.
Yeah, they're coming after all of you. They are coming after all of you.
My place is burned. They got me.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Get your ass over here.
20 minutes.
You don't mind if I do this?
I
I have a bigger dose. I have a real dose for you
Yeah.
somewhere outside.
I'll be all right.
I got
Don't
this.
worry. He's got the fight in him now.
Go.
He's got it.
That accident had a name.
And what about Popclaw? She had a name too.
And you killed her.
Charlotte. You put her in danger, and then you threw her out like she was fucking garbage.
And you pumped her full of heroin. Don't try and pin this on anyone else but
Does
yourself.
Not all start with you, Huey. So who's worse?
Oh, damn!
You
Oh,
You know, you're right.
right through the bone. Right through the bone. It's sticking through his thighs.
I get it. Everything
Oh, Monique. God, so lovely to meet her finally. Great hair. I love her hair.
Hey, baby, come here. Give me
And
a
he
hug.
has a daughter.
What have you been up to? Baby, we're running late. We don't have time to pack toys. We gotta go.
We can buy some new
I
ones.
vote your
Just stop off at
contents
Toys R Us on
later.
the way. We can buy a shit ton of
you.
new ones.
But you go be a mommy.
Okay, he doesn't seem all that into it now. Yeah, she seems pissed off now.
Most girls like this suit.
Well, I'm not most girls.
Is this gonna be Shape of Water all over again? Is she gonna fuck the fish?
Look at those gills.
Those are his. He has gills.
Can
Oh, he has gills. Oh, ay. They're like actually. Oh.
Okay, that hurts. Stop.
Ooh.
Stop.
Come on, it's just my pinky.
No, I said it hurt.
I said.
Oh. I'm sorry. Oh. Oh, she.
Oh yeah, you like that?
Ow.
Oh, you little fucking freak.
I'm sorry. Is he being raped now?
Oh, you like getting your fucking gills fingered?
Is she raping him? Is he being raped now? What? I'm both horrified and confused. Horrifused.
Please, I have a daughter! No!
Oh! Oh, Jesus, Billy! Wait.
Not long after that, Rebecca went missing and has remained so ever since.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, who are you?
My name is Mallory.
This is Mallory, their
I'm the person
boss!
who got payback.
The one who assembled the original boys. Their boss. The one with the granddaughters that were torched by lamplighter. Oh, crap.
What's our special weakness? Gamma rays, iron daggers. Our weakness is the same as anyone's.
People you love.
It's people. The people we care about.
That plan didn't come to fruition.
What's your name, sweetheart? You can call me Uncle Ben.
He ain't
Jeez.
your uncle, honey.
Alright, yeah,
He
Billy
ain't
and
nothing to
Monique.
you.
Monique,
Oh.
good to see you. No. Don't say sorry. No. Look at you. Standing up for yourself. Jinx.
Oh, so he's proud of all this then. Him going out and hunting down Soups.
Cold feet, huh?
How long's it been, John?
Long
John!
enough that no one calls me John anymore.
Oh yeah, he looks like a John.
She was pregnant. With your child.
Pregnant.
Oh, what? Oh, it's alienating her! Oh!
The birth was difficult.
That's what killed her? Giving
The
birth to
baby clawed
Homelander's
its way
spawn?
The blood loss. No one could have survived. Lived all of 10 seconds. Drowned in its mother's blood.
Fuck me.
I'm the world's greatest superhero.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna die. He's definitely dying.
You're my greatest failure.
Oh, he's definitely dead. He's beyond dead. Oh, so he did call her then. He did call her.
You are a human after all.
Wow. Let's not get too carried away.
Thanks, man.
Take care of yourself. All right.
Yes. Damn, he's adapted to this quick. He's adapted to all of this quick. Real quick.
You and your corporation are fucked. Unequivocally, unilaterally fucked. How is that? Is that clearer for you?
I like Susan. I like her.
For the last half century, we're done here.
Everything okay, I hope?
Oh no, what was that slip? Oh, it's a soup. Another soup. Nakib. Holy crap. Oh, Jesus. Oh,
You're telling me
they need soups in the
we
military.
have a soup terrorist?
They're gonna need soups in the military. They can't go forward with that. They cannot go forward with much of their with their prosecution if they can prove that they need soups in the military.
It gives the soups their powers. Val will do anything to cover it up.
We're born like this.
No, you're not.
I'm so sorry.
All the soups are pumped from birth.
Annie.
Oh! What the hell? Oh my god, Billy, you impulsive son of a bitch! Can you stop shooting? That's how you want to end this? That's how you want to end this episode? Really? Wowza. Okay, so yeah, we got a lot more backstory this episode. Especially to do with Becca and Homelander, and Billy and stuff. So Becca worked at Vought. Becca actually worked directly at Vought. She was part of the kind of media management team, and more specifically the social media management team. She was in charge of, she was at first in charge of Homelander's his Twitter account, in charge of his Twitter account, posting his pictures, sending out all of his tweets and whatnot. And then after that, at the Christmas party, he asked her to actually be the commander of all of his social media stuff. So yeah, they were fairly close. So yeah, that happened. I figured like in that kind of a setting with that kind of a lead, I figured it would have to be something to do with, like, you know, it would then make sense how he came across her and what, like, how one thing led to another, and then he raped her. But yeah, I think so now we kind of know exactly how Becca went missing, and then that led to her death too. So Becca was raped in Madeline's office by Homelander to the point where she actually was knocked up with his baby. She was pregnant with a Homelander baby, and I like that they actually pointed that out with the little laser eyes already opening up. The laser eyes being one of the first things to form in her womb, just, you know, shining its way out and being like, yeah, Homelander, baby bump right here. So yeah, so then she had to sign an NDA with them, and they used that to ensure that she would be kept safe and that she would safely give birth to Homelander's baby. But what they didn't take into account is exactly how Homelander's mini-me would want to be born, and that is kicking and screaming, and even to the addition of clawing its way out. It literally clawed its way out of her, and then killed her, and then drowned itself, drowned in her blood. I mean, can that happen? Like, if the baby makes its way out, surely the doctors would actually find it. Like, is that, like, I mean, it would kill the mother without a doubt, but would they, like, not check to see that the baby's actually there and then clean it up nice and clean and take it out to make sure that the baby at least survived? Or, I mean, I guess you have to take into account the fact that they're all just standing there in shock at the fact that they just witnessed such a drastic and dramatic birth, and that shock and the standing around would have actually led to the baby drowning in the mother's blood and stuff. So there was that. But yeah, so she is dead then. She's definitely dead. That, yeah, so she's so wait, what, did Madeline use her? Did Madeline want to use Becca to make another Homelander? Or what? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe? Because I think what kind of shocked me was that, you know, Homelander seemed fairly kind of inquisitive, like fairly calmly inquisitive about Becca's kind of whereabouts in that case in itself. Like, you know, an employee from 8 years ago, suddenly having gone missing. So he had no idea. Like, this episode is the first time he's learning about any of this. So yeah, so he was that, and then Madeline was the one questioning why he was coming up with that name, and then even as, you know, he declined her dinner invitation and walked away. It was like, you know, like, it was her getting visibly annoyed and pissed off, like, why doesn't he want to spend time with me anymore, and stuff like that. So I wonder if Madeline had more to do with that than just you know, calling her into the office and then having everything go down and then having her sign the NDA and whatnot. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, because then again, it kind of reminds me. It kind of runs back to that point. Wait, no, it doesn't. No, it does. Okay, I'm not even gonna say. So don't ignore me because I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say originally because that's a stupid point. But yeah, so the baby died and Becca died. So that's horrifying. But yeah, so then they covered everything up after that, and then yeah, I'm sorry, my mind is still trying to process all of what just happened. It's still trying to find some meaning as to everything that happened. But you know, Mallory, we finally find out who Mallory is. Mallory was actually the CIA agent, the CIA agent who actually brought them all together in the first place. So she was actually in the CIA, and she went to Billy first. Found him. She had the security footage from within Vought of Becca going into Madeline's office with Homelander and then coming out all disheveled and with like, you know, putting on a shoe afterwards, like 3 hours later. So she informed him about the rape. And then she was their original boss. She was their original boss. She bought Billy and Mother's Milk, who we now know is Marvin. His real name is Marvin. And Frenchie together, and then, you know, their job, I think, was to tell Lamplighter, but then that failed, and then Mallory, I don't know if she's dead. I think Mother's Milk mentioned Lamplighter torching her grandkids, but not her. Like, there was no specific mention about her. I think she probably retired and left the game completely after that to deal with that loss. But yeah, I mean, I don't specifically remember Mallory being mentioned to be dead, but it could have still happened. I definitely remember her grandkids being mentioned as dead, though, so that's that. But yeah, Mallory was one who originally brought them together, and she was the one, I believe, who may well have been originally investigating all this stuff, and she brought Billy into it by actually showing him the tape and revealing what actually happened. So yeah, so then after that, she disappeared. She signed the NDA. And then went off with Vought, only to die giving birth to a fucking demon spawn hours and hours later. So, yeah, damn. Yeah. So I mean, had the baby been born and lived, then they would have done the exact same thing to it. They would have done the exact same thing to it that they did to Homelander. They would have raised it in a lab and trained it to become a superhero and had it join Vought as well. So, yeah, and I think it's an interesting with Homelander too. Like, Homelander, he's finding out all of this for the first time. You know, he's discovering, he cracked everything. He discovered everything. He started off with the Huey thing and connected it to Starlight, and then he moved on to the fact that he had help from Mother's Milk and Frenchie and Billy Butcher as well. So he recognized Billy Butcher. He, you know, like a few quick glances back at that face, he recognized it first at the race, the one guy staring back at him when everyone else was looking at the race, and then flashing back even further to 8 years ago. Oh, his wife used to work here. She worked for me. And so he recognized that one. But Homelander discovering everything, just, you know, I think what pissed me off about that scene was A-Train. A-Train did nothing but piss me off this episode. You know, at the beginning, you know, calling Starlight a bitch and blaming all the stuff that went wrong on her. Like, you know, she was sexually assaulted by the Deep, and so she comes forward with that story, and then he gets sent on a sabbatical. Apparently that has something to do with Huey. Not true at all. Not true. I mean, I think even Maeve could have vouched for that, because she knew that, you know, because she actually found Starlight in the restroom throwing up and, you know, washing her face and stuff, and she gave her the tissue and said, never let them see you like this. She was there directly after the event happened, and I think she must not have known exactly what happened, but she had to have a feeling that something went down, something similar to, you know, what was in her mind or whatever she went through back in the day. So yeah, but she still vouched for him. She still vouched for her in the end. But yeah, A-Train getting pissed off at her. A-Train had a unjustified pissed off look during the entire meeting, and then even went to the extent of threatening Huey's dad, and then even at his home, you know, trying to justify it by saying, "Oh, him killing Robin was an accident, so Huey should move past it." And he killed Popclaw. He killed Popclaw. Possibly under Homelander's orders, possibly under his orders, but he killed Popclaw, and he blames that on Huey. So, yeah, I think it's just. I mean, that whole thing just screams like, you know, gaslighting, pretty much. It's like, you know, like the entire time he was happy he was happy just, you know, just exhibiting, like, the most minimal, like the most minimalistic of apologies on live TV. He knew he just had to go in, say some sorries, and then get out of there. He knew he wasn't gonna get he knew he wouldn't get held accountable for it, and he knew that the Vought would handle it all with some kind of NDA, and he'd just be able to go back to the club and, you know, plug himself up with some more Compound V. And he was even laughing on camera on CCTV about having run into Robin. So, you know, even if it was an accident, it was not an accident in the sense that, you know, he actually had held any remorse over it. He held remorse knowing that all this stuff actually kickstarted events that led back to him and got Popclaw killed. So, yeah, just him trying to switch everything back around on someone else, just immediately, that swing. That swing from Kimiko was so satisfying to watch. Like, she broke through his entire leg. Like, his bone was sticking out through his thighs. Like, not even through the side of his knees. Like, literally, it just reflexed back into his thighs and was sticking out from there. That was just a hard swing. That was a hard-ass swing. So, yeah, so A-Train's going to be out the game for a while. He's going to be out the game for a while. So I'm wondering, with the Mallory case, I'm wondering how far they got, because I think Lamplighter was the only case that got mentioned, but because it was the one that got Mallory killed, because her grandkids killed even, because the mission there was, as Mother's Milk actually pointed out, the mission there was for Frenchie to tell Lamplighter, but he didn't, and then Lamplighter got away, and then he went and torched Mallory's grandkids. So I wonder if that was the first case that they worked on, or if that was the only case they worked on, if that was like one of the cases they worked on, like maybe continuous. I mean, I can't imagine back then it would have been easy, like, because if she was gathering all of them up for the first time, they would have had to actually find a way to work together and actually get used to each other and actually understand what their mission was. So then it would make more sense for them. It would make more sense for it then to be their first mission, because I think if they were, especially if, you know, Lamplighter back then being a member of the Seven, it would then make more sense for it to actually be their first mission, because they'd have to actually work their way up to it without having very many resources, and also going after a company as powerful as Vought. So then it had to be at least like one of their first missions, if not their first missions. And then it all went wrong, and then they disbanded after that, because Mallory stepped down from the game. So then it was just Billy going for a while. And then fast forward from that, and then Robin dies, and then Billy sees another opportunity there to help someone else, and then he reunites the boys and everything. So yes, I do wonder then if Mallory's still alive. I think. Yeah, I don't know. Again, if her death has been mentioned, I am definitely not remembering it. The only death I'm remembering is her grandkids. Yeah, he mentions her grandkids. He said Lamplighter went and torched her grandkids, but not Mallory herself. So I don't know if Mallory wasn't with them, and that was like the straw. Like, you know, he left behind some kind of scene for her to find that then broke her and then took her out of the game. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, she wasn't even, she didn't even look that old back then, like when in that flashback scene. So I think I presume she's still alive to this day. But yeah, that happened. So Mallory was the one who originally brought them all together, and also was the leader of the whole operation. So now we see where Billy actually gets it from, because I think even back then, Billy, he seemed like he had like a brashness to him and like a forwardness to him, and he was, you know, very very, very, you know, abrasive and kind of like a sailor's mouth and pretty stuff like that. But, you know, it seemed like working under Mallory, finding out how she worked, her techniques and her approach to this kind of line of work, because this is a very, very unorthodox line of work. So, well, I mean, she worked in the CIA, but then that gave her the resources to actually conduct some off-the-books investigations, like stuff into the Seven and into Vought. So, seeing how she worked kind of rubbed off on him. So then now, with Mallory currently out of the picture, he now knows how to work because of how she worked. So, it's nice to see. It's nice to see where that leadership and that resourcefulness actually comes from. So. Yeah, and then he became an independent contractor too. So he, worked for the FBI and the CIA and stuff like that. So yeah, it's cool to see. It's cool to see. I think it's just CIA. I keep mentioning CIA. FBI is the only one I know that is the only agency I actually know works in this show. But I don't know CIA if they actually work in this. I think I remember seeing CIA on her badge in that flashback scene. But FBI, I know Susan works for the FBI. So that's that. So. Yeah, but that was cool. The Mallory flashback was cool. So Becca, I mean, okay, well, I'm wondering if the scientist was actually telling the truth about Becca now, actually. The more I think about it, I feel like, this is a world where everyone is corrupt. Superpowers or not, people are corrupt. People in general are corrupt. So... the scientists themselves, they kept his past they kept this from him for so long. What else could they, those scientists, especially Vogelbaum, the one who actually raised Homelander, or as he's known, John, he looks like a John, I'm not even gonna lie, he actually looks kind of like a John, or what else? I don't know, what else could he look like? He could look like an Anthony. I mean, that's the actor's name, Anthony Starr. So he could look like an Anthony, but like a John, or maybe a Henry. I don't know. Maybe a Henry. I don't know. Like something. Like I don't know. Something bold. He like any name that might be bold, like a Bruce maybe, or. I don't know, Bruce Wayne. Maybe he could play Bruce Wayne. But I don't know. But he looks like a John. Like when you look at him and you say the name John, you feel like that name could actually be his. But now in this context, it actually is. Basically, he was raised in a lab by that very now retired scientist, and the scientist he held that information from him for all this time. So I'm wondering what else he might be hiding. Maybe they lied. Maybe Becca. Maybe they cut a new deal with her that I'm wondering if she would actually accept, but maybe they cut a new deal with her wherein they actually made her raise the baby. Maybe she actually gave birth to it. I mean again, they can lie. The flashbacks could have been the lie that they wanted to tell Homelander. So maybe if it actually didn't go that way at all, maybe if the birth actually, maybe the laser eyes bit was true, but the clawing and digging, maybe that wasn't true. Maybe the baby was actually born naturally, but maybe the baby was born and they actually wanted a second Homelander, so they actually, they blackmailed her or something into raising Homelander 2, into John 2 or something. Maybe that's the kind of deal they stuck with. So the NDA was to actually keep her quiet and to help her get through the pregnancy safely. And especially if Vought wanted to take the pregnancy into their own hands, it means that they would have had the resources and the means to make sure it went safely. So then, so he lies and says that, it went wrong and they both died. But then secretly, the kid is actually okay, and 8 years passed, he's actually 8 years old now. And he's he's a kid and he's grown up now, so... Yeah, maybe Becca is still alive and she's actually raising the kid. Maybe. Again, I think she probably wouldn't agree to it because she still misses Billy. I think she wasn't really given much of a choice. I think she felt like she couldn't tell Billy what happened at all because for one thing she was raped, and for another thing now she has to give birth to her rapist's baby. Which again, I think I don't know how she would actually sign the NDA, but I think deep down, knowing it was Homelander's baby, she probably knew that no other place would be equipped to actually handle that kind of a pregnancy, whereas with Vought, they literally raise and pump, they literally create superheroes, so they would actually have the means, the area, and the resources necessary to actually handle a super birth. So, so she did that, so then she gave birth to it, but then they actually went the extra mile and then blackmailed her, or cut some other kind of deal with her, did whatever they could, pulled whatever strings they could to try and make her stay and raise the baby in some far off place and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe, just maybe, I don't know, it sounds like it could be a thing. The way these people work, it sounds like everything else they say is utter crap, and that could actually be a thing, but I don't know, because again, it doesn't make sense on Becca's end, because she would miss Billy too much, and I don't know, all the stuff going through her head, maybe she probably would say yes to something like that, but I don't know, I'm just, and it would make for a very boys style twist too. It would make for a twist, that would actually work with the style of the show. Like, oh, plot twist, she actually survived and the baby survived, and she's raising Homelander 2.0. So I don't know. I do not know. But maybe we will see. We'll see. That is going to be until the next episode when they actually reveal all the rest of the stuff that happens. That will be my working theory. That will be my theory that she actually did give birth to Homelander's baby, and they both survived, and she's raising it under Vaught's orders. So we'll see. We will see. I think the Deep got raped. I think what happened to the Deep would pretty much count as a rape, and that scene as a whole shocked me. So he has gills. I thought he was actually going to take out a fish stick. I'm not even joking. I actually thought he was going to have like a little fish stick, but no, he actually has. He has gills that go into his body, and they are very sensitive. They're very sensitive to touch, and if touched too hard or too wrong, then they can hurt, like any body part. So yeah, but I don't know if they work as erogenous zones. I don't know if they work as erogenous zones, but either way, like the way that girl treated him was horrible. But what I'm wondering is if he picked her up thinking she was attractive and that he wanted to sleep with her, clearly, and she likely off the bat reciprocated, but then once that whole scene, once the tone and everything changes, I'm wondering if the girl went to his place with him knowing she probably knew he was the Deep, because he wasn't exactly hiding it. He's in his costume, nothing changed whatsoever, so she knew. But then he probably picks her up thinking that, the news of his sexual assault of Starlight probably hasn't reached very far to America, but then she might know. She actually might know. So then I'm wondering if what she did was some kind of really, really fucked up, like, revenge rape. If that's what she was doing, like, because I think I was like, the way she was doing it, I was half expecting her to be like, oh, now you know how Starlight felt, or what is this reminding you of what you did to Starlight? I was half expecting her to reference Starlight in some way, and then for him to do that, because then I mean, you can tell. I think in it, like he didn't really, there were never really any flashbacks to what he did to Starlight. There were never any flashbacks to what he did to her, like just further emphasizing that he was actually finally realizing what he did to Starlight, and actually realizing the full impact of what he did. But it was just him actually growing more and more resistant and reluctant to actually go through with this, because she was being too rough on him and doing too hard, but just putting him through something he didn't want to do, so just essentially raping him. So I think I mean, it sucks that they had to go down that route. Like, oh, so, in order to understand what he did to Starlight, he has to have it done to him. Like, I think that's just a really, really sucky route to go down. But yeah, I feel like that is the point that they were trying to make, like, some kind of reverse rape. Like, I don't know. Yeah, like, I mean, off the bat, it seems like that is the point that they were trying to, the point that they were trying to enunciate with that scene. Like, oh, he did it to her, so now he's actually getting the same karma onto him, which is not how it should work. But yeah, I don't know. That scene, it was weird at first to watch, knowing that he had gills and stuff, and then the way she was treating him like that, like calling him like a freak, and just really, really digging in on the gills. But then the way that whole scene shifted with the dialogue and his reaction to it and everything, yeah, it definitely had rapey vibes to it. So yeah, I had no idea how to feel during that scene, and it just, it like the thought started lingering in my mind, like, is this some kind of revenge scene for what he did to Starlight? Because again, had it actually, the confirmation would have been, either a flashback in his mind of what he did to Starlight, or the girl herself mentioning Starlight and actually, doing some kind of karma thing to him. But I don't know. I think it might just be a thing where, you know, like did they put some kind of revenge twist on him and stuff like that. So yeah, it was just horrible to see. It was horrible to see, but you know, I mean, he's still an arsehole. He's still an arsehole for what he did to Starlight. But I just, you know, I think there's better way to address the situation, and there's better way to punish his character than to actually have to make him go through the same thing. I don't know. I don't know. It's just that scene kind of left me feeling conflicted. But yeah, I don't know. I still hate him. I still hate him for what he did to Starlight and for how, you know, how much he even tried to cover it up and how much he, just didn't even bother with a proper apology. But I don't know if this scene was the best way to go about addressing the severity of the issue. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is gonna be a thing for him now. Like in season 2, if he's gonna have to address this. I mean, the scene directly after that with him, we saw him going into the supermarket and him trying to rescue a fish. So I'm guessing it didn't really affect him that much. I don't know. I mean, maybe rescuing a fish was one of the ways for him to, feel better about what happened or something. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I do not know. That happened. It happened, and he has gills. He actually has gills that run down the sides of his stomach. So yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. I want to point out Huey's dad. Huey's dad. We haven't seen him since what, episode 2? We haven't seen him since episode 2 when Huey trashed his bedroom and chucked out all of his 7 stuff, all of his Vought superhero stuff. We haven't seen him since then. Nothing at all. So since then, nothing. And now in this episode, the first thing we see is him being held captive and threatened by A-Train, and then he's back at the base and stuff with Janine and with Monique and stuff. We finally met them. Janine, Mother's Milk has a daughter. He's a dad. And Monique is his wife, obviously, and then Janine is his daughter. She does drawings and stuff, and she's so cute. And well, that's also, he's a family man. He has 2 people. But yeah, Huey's dad, he adapts quick. He adapted quick to these situations. He really went from, you can't confront Vought about this. You don't have to fight in you never have, to, that's my baby, off to destroy superheroes from Vought and everything. Like, he adapted to this entire thing quick. Like, that kind of development is strangely fun to see. It's strangely fun to see, surprisingly fun to see. Like him not even questioning what Huey's getting up to, not even questioning what kind of crowd Huey's fallen in with, but just more being like, almost being proud almost. Like he literally was proud. He actually took Huey in a hug, and he actually was proud of him for actually stepping up and doing something about it. So yeah, so he encourages him to take the at first he encourages him to take the money and to sign the NDA and do stuff with the money, but now he's like, oh, my son's going out and he's fighting Vought and superheroes and doing all this stuff. I could not be more proud. Like, that kind of arc is, again, just strangely fun to see. So yeah, he adapts quick. He's a quick adapter. He's a very, very quick adapter. And then he went off and went with Monique and Janine to protective custody under the FBI. So yeah, that was fun stuff. But yeah, Marvin is the real name of Mother's Milk. So no, his real name is not Mother's Milk. That is an alias that he works with. That he works under with the boys, but his real name is Marvin, and Monique does not like Billy. Monique doesn't like Billy one bit, so much that she slapped him as soon as she saw him, just do one quick smack around the face. But yeah, so yeah, it's good to see that tension still exists between Monique and Billy. But yeah, Janine is his daughter, so yeah, I think, yeah, so he's a family man. He's a family man. It was good to see that much. And yeah, so yeah, that's basically what I have to say about that. It's just we didn't really see much of them, but she didn't get to pack any of her toys. Janine didn't get to pack any of her toys, so I'm hoping the FBI actually stopped off at Toys R Us on the way back to on the way to protective custody. Actually got her a shit ton of more stuff. So yeah, I wonder maybe if she had some 7 toys, if she had toys of the 7, and that's like one of the reasons why Mother's Milk said no. Like, on the one hand, they actually don't have time to pack anything; they have to actually get going. But on the other hand, they're also toys of the Seven, and he's fighting the Seven, so it's not really a good kind of parallel, not a good message to send. So, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it was good to finally meet them. And yeah, last but not least, so Billy gave up the compound V. He gave up the compound V and the other evidence that Susan would need to go straight to Vought, and she did. But then after that, we finally get another reveal that there's a soup terrorist. There's actually a soup terrorist. There is a super villain terrorist called Nakib, which translates to captain. So he literally glows brighter and brighter until he actually blows up the building and burns everyone inside. Then he comes back out, free of any flames, free of any injuries. And then, yeah, so now they actually have soup terrorists. So Kimiko wasn't the only one they had. I think that much would kind of make sense, I think. Kind of makes sense. Like, Kimiko was the only one they showed us, and it was the one that seemed the most vulnerable. But this guy, he's already been trained and given Compound V and given powers and stuff. So yes, I mean, Compound V, it's an enhancement, right? I mean, Compound V. So I mean, if you give it to babies, their cells and their bodies and everything are still developing. So then, if you give Compound V to babies at that age, then the Compound V within them develops along with them. It develops along with their cells. So then it would make more sense that way for babies to actually develop different variations of superpowers, like the Deep having his own powers, and A-Train having speed, and Queen Maeve having strength, and Homelander having flight, and Starlight having light powers and everything. Like, if you give it to them as babies, then that would make more sense. So then this captain, this Nakib guy, so the super terrorists, are they the same way, or are they just smuggling immigrants in and out of their own labs and giving them Compound V and hoping? Because then Compound V, like the only way it's been described is as some kind of performance enhancer, like a steroid for soups. It's not been labeled or described as a kind of as a serum that actually gives you powers, I think. But then again, I did say one of my theories was that normal people might take Compound V and it would give them normal people powers. But then, but the way soups are created is to give them powers from birth. So once they're born, they put them in a lab, they plug them full of Compound V, and then they train them. So that would make sense. Yeah. But then the super terrorists. So then it might work the same way. Then it might work the same way if you still give like a grown adult, like a grown man or woman, Compound V. Then it might work the same way. It might work the same way. Like you give them enough, or you give them enough over a period of time. Their body continues to develop with the Compound V inside them. The Compound V mutates, and then it gives them some kind of abilities, and then it gives them powers. So yeah, that would make sense. Okay, that would make sense. Huh, okay. So yeah, so Nakib has Compound V in him, likely, and he is his own terrorist. And now they have terrorists. Now they can't prosecute. Now they can't prosecute Vought properly, knowing that Vought has the means to actually take out terrorists overseas. If they take superheroes over there, then now they can't prosecute Vought correctly. So yeah, Madeline wins again. I knew as soon as the meeting was interrupted, as soon as the guy walked in with a slip of paper and stuff, I just knew that means that something has gone wrong. And she shuts down the meeting and she walks out, goes to see the footage. As soon as the footage showed up, I knew. As soon as they were showing her the footage, I knew it either had to be Homelander jumping in to try and do something, or it had to be a soup of some kind. It had to be a soup of some kind jumping to do something. So yeah, the soup came in, blew the place sky high, and then walked away from it without so much as a blister. So yeah, so now they have super terrorists. And the only way to stop a super terrorist is, as Billy so eloquently pointed out, with Sergeant fucking Homelander. So yeah, I think in the next episode we actually might see Madeline talking to the government about it, and then confirming that they need soups in the military. So then they pass that bill, and then and then Madeline sends in Homelander to take out Nakeeb and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know how this is gonna go, but I am anxious to see the finale. But yeah, that is pretty much all I've got from this episode. Yeah, as these episodes go on, I think the further these episodes go on, the more they actually hit the hour mark and just pack everything in and throw it at you and stuff. Oh, I almost forgot to mention. Yeah, Mesmer's dead. Yeah, no, Mesmer's death scene. Jesus. Yeah, I did not see that one coming. I mean, I figured he might kill him. I figured Billy might kill him, but I thought it would just be like a snap of the neck, or he might just throw him against the wall. And then he might fall, and then Billy might just stomp on his neck or something. I thought it would literally just be a neck snap, but no, he actually just bashes his head in against the sink and stuff like that. So Billy is ruthless. Billy is ruthless, and I don't know. I don't think, but also I also don't know if he got all of that from Mallory too. If Mallory was ruthless in her approach to investigating Soups too. But I don't know. But I guess after seeing the loss that Mallory faced that took her out of the game, he was all the more adamant about actually taking superheroes out of the game himself. So he was waiting for the right people, waiting for the right opportunity, and then Robin went splat thanks to A-Train, and then he had an opportunity to recruit Huey, and then bring all the other boys back in and do all this stuff. So yeah, seeing him killing Mesmer, that was. Yeah, I mean, this show does not hold back on its score, doesn't hold back on the violence, but yeah, still seeing that was still something else. But yeah, I mean, somehow seeing Billy holding a baby and using its lasers to slice dudes in half, somehow seeing that is somewhat more tolerable than seeing him literally bashing a dude's head in with the thing. I'm pretty sure he just caved his head in with the sink, but yeah, somehow seeing the baby slicing dudes to pieces with the laser is more tolerable than seeing him literally bash open a dude's head on a sink. But yeah, and then that final line from Mesmer too, like, please, now I have a daughter, and then god damn it. Yeah, but yeah, so Mesmer is dead, but then I think, knowing that he snitched, I think, he snitched knowing that Homelander would use that information. He snitched fully knowing that Homelander would use that information. So how he didn't expect Homelander, like how he didn't expect Billy or any of the boys to come back to him asking why he did what the fuck he did, I do not know. How he didn't see that one coming, I don't know. But yeah, either way that happened, he snitched and he paid the price, and yeah, all that stuff happened. But yeah, that is pretty much it. That is definitely all I have from this episode. So, is it? No, it's not. I keep, again, each time I get ready to end the video, I keep remembering more stuff. The ending. Huey revealed the truth to Starlight. Huey revealed the truth to Annie, told her about how Soups are literally just born from being pumped with Compound V as babies, and then they grow up with superpowers and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, and I figured it would make more sense for her. I think it made it like part of her believed it because of the fact that she never remembered being born with powers, but her mother always assured her that, oh, you were born, you blinded doctors, you were like an angel, blah 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 blah, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, but yeah, so he told her about it, and then the thing about that scene that pissed me off was Billy just unloading bullets into her, just sniper rifle bullets, taking pot shots at her and knocking her down to the ground. So that was not the right approach to take at all. But yeah, Huey and Annie's arc in this episode took a huge south turn, like a huge south dive, a left turn and a south dive. The one thing I was afraid of would have happened. She felt like, she felt like he was using her to get into the 7 and to get close to the 7, and she finds out that he murdered Translucent. And the A-Train kills his girlfriend. And I think, again, the thing with A-Train, he doesn't he sees a picture of Huey, he doesn't recognize him. He sees a picture of him, and he sees that same picture zoomed out, showing him and Huey together. He's like, oh, I'm there, so now I remember it. Oh yeah, he was outside Popclaw's apartment too. Now he remembers. You know, like until he's actually an integral part of the situation, he just doesn't give two craps about who someone is or what they've done or why they're doing things. So yeah, I don't know, but Huey and Starlight, I'm hoping that their relationship can be salvaged for season 2. I mean, ending the episode with him literally running away as his friend shoots her to the ground twice is not a good look. It's not a good look, and yeah, I don't know, just her making that discovery, of Huey having done all this stuff, knowing that she was in the 7, and even using the backstage pass from her to visit Ezekiel, and taking out Translucent, all that kind of stuff. It definitely changes things for her, so I'm hoping she doesn't take it too much to heart, but I don't know what they're going to do with it, but yeah, that arc took exactly the the kind of left turn I was afraid of. It took exactly the left turn I was afraid of. So I guess we'll see in the finale how they actually conclude it. But I'm hoping they can salvage it. I'm hoping they can still do something with it, and carry it on into season 2. But yeah, that, I swear to Christ, that is all I can remember. That is all I've got for this video. So that was a very, very heavy episode. A lot happened. So hopefully in the finale we see how things are tied up, and then it's on to season 2. But yeah, that is pretty much all I've got. So that was The Boys, Season 1, Episode 7, titled The Self-Preservation Society. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next time on The Boys. Once again, the full-length reaction to this episode will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. And yeah, that is it. So I will see you guys next time.